Hey, free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. So we are still on Chronos Day. So when you're looking at this video, it's probably like a few days have passed since, right? So this is just the first day of the miracle event. But there's something that I want to mention a little bit, which I suspect this thing, right? There is a limit to the number of stamina pots that you can get. So what I realized is that at the start, I keep getting stamina, right? I keep getting about upwards of maybe 1.5k stam or something like that. But then it suddenly just tapers off and I no longer get stamina anymore. And I'm not even going to pop this until, let's say, the day resets or something like that. So let me know down in the comments below if you feel like this is the same for you. If you realize that, hey, why are we not suddenly getting stamina anymore? Did they fix it, or was there just a very limited number of stamina in the first place? So I'm hoping this resets day by day so that I can at least maintain a little bit of my farming. But for this video, I want to talk about something with a little bit more longevity, and it is pertaining to how can you settle your relics, right? So let's just say that in this single sitting, this entire day, I've actually obtained quite a fair bit of relics. So I started off with 600 relics over here, and now I have 1.122 relics. And actually I had a lot more in this. I just kept selling some of my relics. So the way I do it, in my opinion, as long as you can start farming very regular 6-star relics, so like for example in K15 or K16, then I think it is a good idea to start selling your elite relics just to pave the way for more superior relics. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sell everything that has elite status or elite rarity and below, which means that what you're left with are all just superior and flawless relics. And of course, I'm also going to sell all the 5-star relics as well, okay? So I've actually picked up 500 plus superior relics today, and I'm still going, right? I'm still farming. So we need to ask ourselves a very important question. How can we declutter all of this? Because this is really nonsense, right? So the way I go about doing this is to first get rid of the relics that I know I will never ever need, which means slot 2, 4, and 6, you should be getting rid of all your flat stats. So there you go, these are all like flat attack, right? What you need is crit damage, or maybe HP percentage, or maybe defense percentage, depending on what set we are talking about. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bulk sell all the flat stats from my entire inventory. And this is just a very quick way of how I do it. So I start off with flat attack, and then I go on to each of the 2, 4, 6 slots over here, and I bulk sell it this way. And then I progress to the next flat over here. And just be careful that you're not actually accidentally selling your percentage. You're kind of screwed. And definitely do not sell your flats on any of your 1, 3, 5 slots, because they're all going to be flat. Now, once this is done, we need to talk a little bit more about what are some of the other useless main stats. So for example, on your slot 2, not everything is going to be crucial in my opinion. I don't think that crit rate is necessarily always going to be that good, but it really depends on you, right? So for me, I'm probably going to sell away all of my crit rate relics over here. Well, the one occasion that I might need it is if there is a speed sub on a Windwalker over here, so that there's a potential to get a quintuple stack of speed. But apart from that, I don't think I will keep crit rate at all. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sell it. Now, the reason why I have one locked up over here is because this gives me 73% crit rate, which might be useful in the future. Now, before we leave slot 2, there is also another main stat that I think is quite useless, and that's probably going to be your attack percentage on your slot 2, because like I said, the main stat that you want over here is going to be crit damage, HP percentage, or defense percentage, depending on the set. But in most cases, you will not need attack percentage over here, and so I'm just going to go ahead and sell it off like that. And now we can progress to the slot 4, and honestly slot 4 is going to be quite easy, right? For me, I'll personally just sell off all the accuracy and resist percentage. It's very easy for me to get rid of these stuff because I don't think they are necessarily that useful in most content in the game at least. And this is very complicated because now when we move on to slot 6, there isn't really one stat that you might want to get rid of instantly. So you don't want to get rid of speed, you don't want to get rid of attack percentage, defense, and HP percentages. So I am just going to hold on to these for now. So now that the easy clearing is out of the way, we need to progress into like maybe the more difficult stuff, which is to actually eyeball your relics one by one. And this is the hard part. So the way I do it is that I think about what I need for this set. So for example, we are looking at War Machine here. So when you're talking about War Machine, it is obviously going to be completely offensive based, right? You want to be pushing your attack power as, oh my god, this is so strong. Okay, so as such, I'm looking for substats like this. And when I do find it, I just lock it and then I move on. So this, I generally will look for 3 perfect subs. So for example, this is a perfect example of what a perfect sub looks like. And this is not a perfect sub. So I'm actually not going to keep it. I'm actually just going to bypass it and just sell it eventually. So as you can see, we actually skipped quite a lot. And this one is like an iffy relic for me because this is pretty decent in a hybrid build. So I think I might just keep it. And this is fine as well. Accuracy, speed, crit damage. This can be a little bit hybrid as well in terms of like, you know, some espers may need the accuracy, and this is also a perfect sub. You're just going to keep it. I'm just giving you an idea of just how many relics I sell with respect to the relics that I get on a daily basis. And this should probably give you a better idea of why, you know, some people ask me the question about how do I have such good quality relics, and the answer is simply just be, oh my god, this is so strong. Just be really, really specific and very selfish about the relics that you are trying to put into your roster, because as long as you can keep the bad relics at bay, you should be fine. And now that I'm done with the War Machine, I'm just going to go ahead and box out everything else. So it's going to be a little bit painful for some of you guys, I'm sure of it. But this is just like the end game life for me right now. And I'm also going to 100% sell off all the Abiding Panacea relics, because I would never ever use them. I'd rather just use Windwalker in my opinion. And now we move on to the fun stuff, because now we're talking about Windwalker, and this complicates things a lot more, because this is no longer going to be so straightforward in terms of like, oh, it's going to be offensive, it's going to be defensive. It can be a mixture of both. So for this to keep things simple, I need it to wow me a lot, which means that the substats need to be very strong. So for example, in this situation, I may not want to keep it in terms of an offensive kit, but the thing is, it does have a speed sub over here, which could potentially go up to 20 speed. And as such, I'll just hold on to it and upgrade it. And if it doesn't go onto full speed, then I think I might just sell it. So something like that. So yeah, this, I might just keep it because he has speed. And this has speed as well. And he does have HP as well, which is pretty decent for your supports. So what I'm really doing right now is just looking for either a speed sub or very offensive substats. So something like this is pretty offensive, right? There is a crit rate here, attack percentage, and accuracy, which is quite nice. And that's it. We have actually finished the Windwalkers over here. So we're just going to go ahead and bulk sell everything that we do not need. Now next we have the Snow Dowager. So Snow Dowager is a little bit more straightforward, but yet it's not really the case as well. Because the thing is, when people think about Snow Dowager, people are thinking about using a supportive tanky esper, like for example Laura, or maybe even Elliot. But the problem is there are also some DPS espers like Ollie who really thrive on having a Snow Dowager set. So that means that you need to have offensive relics as well. So that is another thing for us to consider. So we can consider like offensive, hybrid, and tanky, or just like basic support for Snow Dowager, which means that Snow Dowager is actually a lot harder to to consider. So what I'm just thinking of right now is whatever that wows me a lot. So for example, if I see stats that might literally scream at me like, oh wow, it's really good, then I will just keep it. If not, I'll just bypass it instantly. And that's basically it. So we are done with the flats. We are done with the first slot. So now we need to progress into the second slot, which is another layer of difficulty as well. So again, we're going to start off with the War Machine, right? And it's going to be quite straightforward after here. So for War Machine slot 2, what we really need is just going to be crit damage. Anything else can be sold, because I don't think you want to have HP percentage or defense percentage on your slot 2 over there, even if the substats are really nice. I don't think it really makes a lot of sense. So something like this you want to keep. Wow, attack percentage and crit damage, amazing. So we're going to go ahead and keep that. And more crit damage here with speed and accuracy, so this is fine. I really hope that this rolls into a crit rate. If not, it's kind of garble, and this is not necessarily going to be good. But the thing is, if it does roll into crit rate, like I said, it could be good. So I'm a little bit more lenient on these relics, because I'll give them the benefit of doubt that they will actually go into crit rate, even though that's just a dream. And that's the end of the slot 2 for our War Machine. So let's move on to the Windwalkers over here. Now the thing is, for Windwalker, because I talked about it being a little bit more complicated, what we need to be aware of is that we either need to have very offensive relics again, or very defensive relics, or very supportive relics, right? So we're just looking for, if it's going to be defense percentage, it does need to come with a speed sub. So like that, I will just keep it. Another one over here, I will keep it with a possibility of getting 20 speed. And now we have crit damage with attack percentage and accuracy. So I will just keep it and hope it goes into crit rate. So that is my objective right now. And now that this has HP percentage without any speed, I'm just gonna sell it. This has speed, I'm gonna keep it. Something like that. You will slowly get the hang of it and you'll eventually be like super fast, okay? It's just the same as like swiping on Tinder, right? You eventually reach a point where you understand what your type is so strongly that you're just gonna pass instantly. And that's it for the Windwalkers. So we're just gonna sell everything else. We are just going to quickly go through the rest of Snow Dowager. So it's basically the same thing, right? Alright, and that's it. So I'll just talk about one more part, which is going to be your slot 3 or your slot 6, right? So one of these two at the end. because it's a little bit different as well because we have speed subs and all that. So the flats over here is honestly going to be the same, right? It's going to be like, oh, we have Apollo here, we possibly want to have either offensive or supportive stats, and as such, you know, something like this, neither here nor there, might not be okay. And just generally for all the rest of the relics here, you're trying to find a theme, and that's about it, right? So it's either a lot of offense or just a lot of defense or support, and that's about it. But I want to focus a little bit more on slot 6 before I end this video, okay? Because this is a little bit more complicated as well, because there are going to be speed subs, which is very important. So what kind of speed relic will I keep? I personally, okay, me as an endgame player, what will I keep? So we're just going to breeze through the Master Growth and just see what we have along the way. Okay, so this is not bad. I'll be slightly more lenient towards slot 2, 4, and 6. So as long as they give me like 2 really good substats, I think I don't mind just consider keeping it and just rolling a couple and just see how it goes from then on. Yeah, so something like this is completely busted, isn't it? Now when it comes to relics like this, with like a defense or HP percentage with speed subs, I may not actually keep it, because the thing is, if I'm gonna be using a support Esper, I would definitely prefer to have a speed main rather than like a stat main. So as such, actually I might just sell this. Alright, so we actually met our first speed main, and it does come with the specific sub that I'm looking for. So the thing is, when you have speed as a main, it's very important that you have speed sub as well, because the idea behind this all is that you want to acquire more speed. And so I think having more speed is going to be very crucial. So some of my Espers, or rather most of my Espers, have a speed main with a speed sub. It's very important. So I'm actually going to keep this and hopefully roll this into like a crazy amount of speed. Now, just because we are looking at certain sets that are probably not as efficient as, like, let's say Adamantine or Avatara Relic, right, doesn't mean that they are useless, because there is a lot of time where I use these relics in terms of like a broken set just to acquire as much substats as possible. So this is a way that I can farm a lot of stat across the board by, you know, making use of all the relics that I obtain along the way. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just continue this process, and I'll check back with you when I'm done with everything else over here. Okay, there will be specific situations like this where I will keep the main being a defense or HP percentage as long as the substats are super good. Now the reason why this is the case is because there are some instances where I might want to build, let's say, a bruiser, and having defensive stats is going to be very crucial in making sure that my bruiser stays tanky. So this is actually okay. I would prefer this to be on Avatara instead for most bruiser cases, but I think I can live with this. Oh, and one more thing, if you encounter a situation where you have a Mui piece without any really good subs, but the thing is, it does come with a speed sub over here. You should really keep it, especially if it's a flawless, because this has the potential to go up to 24 speed, so definitely make sure that you grab hold of all of these flawless pieces. So after the dust is settled, I actually went down from like 1100 down to 600, which means that I think I got about maybe 20 relics or so from all of that. And it took me about 30 minutes just to clear up all of this. So it definitely takes a lot of time, and you might even take longer than me. You just require a little bit more patience and a little bit more practice, and you eventually get the hang of it, and you start selling things super fast, right? Like you see it and you know immediately that you do not want it anymore. So that's about all the advice that I can offer right now. Eventually, I'm going to progress to a point in the game where as long as I get a superior relic, I'm just going to sell it. I am super afraid of the day to come because then farming relics is going to be a huge pain in the ass. But till then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Daddy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.